What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. And today I am going to do a partner video of one that I did the other day. The other day I did a video, a warning to all patriots. And the warning was do not underestimate your radicalized foe. Now, I am going to do a warning for all radicals. If you have any radical friends, please point them in the direction of this video. I will try to be respectful at all times, but I have to be honest up front. That is going to be incredibly hard for Baz on Blades because I think these radicals are a bunch of idiots. They are a bunch of idiots, many of whom hate the country that they live in for no reason other than they learn to in school from their radicalized professors and teachers. God bless America. We are the greatest, most giving country on the face of this planet, period. We have less real racism in this country than many other major countries out there. Okay? The United States is not perfect, and that's because it is filled with people, and people are not capable of being perfect. I think that the entire recorded history of mankind pretty much sums that up and points it out succinctly. Okay? So, radicals, you want to get rid of the police. Now, I don't know if you want to defund the police, if you want to do away with the police. I've heard some of these radicalized people go as far as saying they want to get rid of the police totally and the court system. And then when people say, well, what are you going to do? They're like, it'll be okay because we feel good about it. I want to know how they feel good about any of these ideas. I want to know if you are a radical in a bunch of radicals and radical number one says, hey, I think we ought to get rid of the police. Everybody else is like, yeah, get rid of the police. We don't need the police. We're radical, man. Okay. What they should be doing is everybody around them should stop right there and think, does this person know what'll happen if we get rid of the police? And the answer is no, they do not. Not one radical, no matter what group they are affiliated with, no matter if they want to defund, do away with, totally restructure, whatever, none have any idea what this type of movement will cause, what it will cause later on, what ripples in the pond from throwing this big ass rock right in the middle. Okay? And the reason that none of them know, Baz on Blades knows this. Everybody should have thought about this instantly. Yet I have not heard one person talk about this. Do you know that there is not one person living in the United States right now that is old enough to have lived totally without institutionalized law enforcement? Not one living person. None of these radicals have any idea what will happen if they defund, do away with the police, the court systems. They have no idea. If they say they do, they are a fucking liar. They are a liar because there is no living human being in the United States that has ever experienced in their life a total loss of structured or institutionalized law enforcement. Even those that lived in the colonies of the United States or that moved across the country exploring the continent, bringing people out, okay, bringing the railroad out, widening across the United States, all the small towns and everything that you hear about in all the cowboy movies. Guess what? They had sheriffs, they had constables, they had deputies, they had a legal system. Even those people. You had federal marshals and state marshals that rode a circuit around their area covering ground. There was all kinds of law enforcement. Now, not with the density that we have in 2020. We have much larger, much more intricately built police departments, and they deal with so much more in society than they have ever have before. So no one living has they don't have any idea what they're talking about. They do not know what will happen. But I think I've got a list of about 3 things that I'm pretty sure we can guarantee happen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to these are my 3 educated guesses. Maybe you can say that of what will happen, say, if they start defunding police departments. Let's not even talk about the craziness of totally getting away with police or getting rid of police. Let's just talk about defunding departments and how it will almost instantly affect everything in society. Now, the first thing that's going to happen is when you defund something radically, they tend to come in and start restructuring and compressing things down with fewer employees doing more jobs. That means there will be less active slots for hiring and placement within the departments. That means less officers. At the same time, pay will probably start coming down or it will be frozen. That means that you will start having a higher degree of experienced officers leaving to go to higher paid jobs that they are qualified for. Beyond that, rehires will be incredibly hard to find because nobody will want to be a police officer. That means that your rehires often will be a lower quality applicant that they can bring in at a lower pay scale because you have defunded the police department. You're going to end up with fewer officers on the street for covering. You're going to end up with slower response times, and then when the police do respond, it is going to be a lower qualified individual because not only did they pay them less when they came in, they took a lesser applicant, they're going to get less training. Police departments need more training. They do not need less training. That is a shit crap job I would not wish on anybody. And they are certainly not going to do it for less money with less training and less backing. So that's the first thing I think that you will start to see. The next thing is, what do you think is one of the most expensive parts of your police departments? It's the 911 system. It is mandatory everywhere. Every police department has to have it, and the bigger the city is, the more expensive it is. So you are going to take money away from the police department. That is going to negatively affect your 911 systems. I would not be surprised if some of them went down to 50% coverage or capacity. What half of the people that you personally know do you want to go without 911 service? Half of your family, half of your friends, half the people you work with, half the people on your block, or is it just the half over on the other side of the railroad tracks, the ones you really don't care about? 911 systems will be adversely, very negatively affected by defunding, and that service will it will not ever be the same again. Now, the next thing that I would like to talk about is the result of just those 2 things. Fewer officers, less coverage, longer response times, undertrained officers, and lesser qualified officers, first of all. That's what your defunding gets. It doesn't get more training and better people. It gets less training and less qualified people. The next thing, your 911 system is going to start failing. So your response times are just going to go. Could you imagine calling 911, okay, and telling them that somebody is breaking into your house and they tell you they do not have an officer available? Call them back if the person breaks all the way into your house. Could you imagine your mom or your wife or your children not being able to get a response from 911? That's what you want? Because that's what's going to happen. You can't take money away from police departments and they still have money to pay for things. Um, and you know what? There's going to be sort of a little side effect that nobody is thinking about with this. Not only will every aspect of society be radically affected in the negative, no police officers to respond to traffic issues, wrecks, no police officers for security at your live events, ball games, and concerts and stuff. All of the services that police officers provide that nobody ever talks about will disappear. They will disappear. It will drive a wedge between the police officers and the amount of time they can spend in their community interacting with their community and the people that make up for it. Okay? That, think about those things. Those are not the things that everybody's talking about police violence and da 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 da. But for that very small percentage of the violent police officers, all of these rest of these guys that you want to defund, they do a shit ton of stuff for you every day that you don't even think about, and it will all disappear almost overnight if you defund. Now, something funny about that, I think, is where are the police going to supplement their funding? How do they supplement their funding? A few different ways. They write tickets. They write tickets, and they will write a lot more tickets. They will be pulling people over for every little infraction and writing the maximum number of tickets they can because they don't have the funding to even put gas in their patrol cars next week. Okay? They can't upgrade their body armor. Important things to police officers that need to be able to do their job. They are going to start writing a lot of tickets. The next thing is, you can expect that if you commit a crime and you have anything that is impounded, you are never going to get it back. In my area, one of the crimes that is the craziest thing is fishing without a license. Yes, it is a pain in the ass to have to get a license in order to fish, but you have to have it. What happens when you get caught without it and you are fishing? Well, they have the right to take everything that you have with you. All of your fishing equipment. If you've got a firearm on you, they're going to take that too. They're going to take your vehicle. They're going to take your vehicle and they will sell your stuff at auction and they will make money in order to support their defunded departments. It happens pretty often. It happens pretty often, and the only way you can stop it is to get an attorney and spend a shit ton of money. And those are the things that are going to happen. An increase, almost instant increase in a violent crime rate of, I would say, 20%. 20%, I think, is conservative. 20% doesn't seem like a lot of people. 10 people out of 100 is 10%. Just going 20% up, an increase of 20% out of 100 people, you would go from 10 victims of a violent crime to 30 victims of a violent crime. That's a 20% increase just out of 100 people population. Um, 20% is a giant, giant, very impressive, scary number, and I think that is pretty conservative in a lot of places. There are a lot of places that are almost like war zones now. Defund the police, and they will turn into war zones. Um, I don't know what you radicals are after here. Honestly, I don't, because you're basically going to make sure that the people you say you are supporting are going to suffer, because they will suffer. Areas of poverty, um, ethnically centered places, where we need to funnel more money, they're going to get less coverage. Uh, this is not going to help anybody. You are not going to take money away from the police and give it to somebody else and then have the police to count on in the same capacity that you do now. And the fact that no living person in the United States has ever lived without law enforcement in their lives, that right there tells me that no one has any idea what they are talking about. These places, if they are defunded, and their police presence is cut down radically because of that defunding, they will turn into literal hellholes. They will. And all the people there will suffer. That's what you're going to get. Taking away money is not going to help. The police departments need more training, which costs more money. They need more training. The shit that they deal with every day, they deal with the worst aspects of society constantly. Nobody calls 911 and says, hey, we love you guys. Bring the whole department over to the house. We're going to throw a pool party and get the grill out, and I'm going to cook for all of you. They call 911 because something bad is happening. So that's what the police see. They see bad all the time. All the time. It is a shitty, crappy job. It is a low paying job. They don't do it for the money. It's not a TV show. They're not all on the take. Okay, that's TV. It's not reality. It's not real. These guys don't make jack crap. I would not be surprised if the local officers in my area, they probably start out about 27 to 30,000 a year. I work in a factory and I make more money than that. And nobody is trying to hurt me. These guys never know where they're going, what they're doing, who's going to be there, how piss poor of a mood they're going to be in. Do they have a gun? It is a shitty, crappy job. I appreciate the guys for doing it. You know, I appreciate them for being there. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Unless I get pulled over for speeding in the 350Z, I don't have any interaction with the police. They don't even look at me unless I'm doing something. I like having them there. I like having them there. You like having them there. Hey, radical. You like having them there. You're not even thinking about what they do for you. When you go out and you have these marches and shit, look around at who's doing the security. Who's keeping the crowds in control? It's the police. It's the police. You are out there screaming, defund the police, and they are there protecting you. It takes a special strawberry cream, sugar-coated kind of insanity to want to defund or disband the police departments. Do they need to be fixed? Yes. Okay? They need to be fixed. They're full of human beings, and human beings are screwed up at best. All of us are. It's never going to be perfect. But taking money away from them and taking support away from them and trying to turn the whole world against them is not going to fix these problems, Radical. It is not going to fix the problem, and this is Baz on Blades warning to you. Stop, shut up, and think. The people you are listening to have no idea what they are talking about. None of them has ever lived without the benefits of law enforcement. And all of the benefits of law enforcement, okay? You need to, hey, look around when you're moving around and see everything that they do every day. It will instantly go away. Take their money away from them. It'll instantly go away. You won't hardly ever see a cop because there won't be half as many of them. The ones that you do see, they will be lower quality. They will be lower quality. They'll have less money to pay them because you're taking their money. Call 911. They're going to put you on hold for like an hour and a half. Hour and a half. You better hope that guy trying to kick his way through your kitchen door to get in, to rape and kill you and to steal your shit, you better hope that he's really not that fit and it's going to take him a while to get through the door. I hope you've got a good back door. That's if 911 even answers, because you're gonna kill them too. You're gonna kill them too. Good luck with that, Radical. Good luck with that. Thank you for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.